everyone, welcome back to Morgan's Movie Collection. This is something I have wanted to do for a long while now, and at the start of 2023 I've been able to do it. I've finally added a good chunk into my Eureka Masters of Cinema collection, some of which I do own. I do own a handful of the Eureka Masters of Cinema before this particular haul today, but I really felt the need to add to that. I, of course, still feel the need to add more to that, and of course Eureka keep bringing out great releases in their, or great looking releases at least, in their Masters of Cinema collection. But I have 9 titles today, 9, that I have bought in January, to add to, like I said, to add to my Masters of Cinema collection. I think Eureka are a great company. They make great Blu-rays. They put a lot of energy into them, a lot of real dedication into them. Alongside Indicator, I'd have to say they are a favourite label, but they're obviously a very, very big Blu-ray label as well, particularly in this kind of collector's scene, shall we say. But yes, 9 titles, a really good mix of movies actually as well. So let's get into them, some of which I have seen before, plenty of which I have never seen before, and some of which I've watched since getting them, that you will perhaps know about, given the fact we have It's a Wonderful Podcast, the main show, on the podcast feed, of course. But let's start with that then, with number 82, I believe, in the Masters of Cinema collection, is Ace in the Hole. Billy Wilder's Ace in the Hole, that we of course covered for our first episode of It's a Wonderful Podcast in 2023. Kirk Douglas as just the most evil newspaperman you could possibly wish for. If you want to hear all mine and Janine's thoughts, of course, in our breakdown, in our deep dive, as we like to do, our celebration of Ace in the Hole as a movie on It's a Wonderful Podcast, find that show on all major podcast platforms. It is there. It was the first show of 2023 that we did there. But Ace in the Hole, let's just see what we have in this edition. It's a dual format, so it's DVD and Blu-ray. You get a new and exclusive video interview with film scholar Neil Sinyard, portrait of a 60% perfect man, Billy Wilder, a film by Annie Trescott and Michael Cement, a 59-minute 1980 documentary discussion with Billy Wilder, original theatrical trailer, and 32-page full-colour booklet featuring an essay on the film by critic Emmanuel Bordeaux and rare archival imagery. I have watched a couple of those features, of course, after watching this movie for the first time for that episode of It's a Wonderful Podcast. 1951, of course, 111 minutes. Number 82 in the Masters of Cinema collection, as I said. Nice booklet there with Kirk Douglas's face on. 3 discs. A wonderful, wonderful movie. And a nice little Blu-ray as well. I'm very happy with that one. Next up, we have a movie that when I do watch this, it will be a first-time watch for me. It's also a genre that I really did feel like I had to expand my collection on. And that's westerns. I mean, more specifically American westerns. Spaghetti westerns I actually do own more of than American westerns, which is somewhat, you might think that's unusual. I think spaghetti westerns are wonderfully stylish movies. But there's plenty of great American westerns out there as well. Of course there is. It's the birth of the western is the American Western, isn't it? But this is number 123 in the Masters of Cinema collection, and it is Shane from 1953, 118 minutes, with Alan Ladd, George Stevens directing. I'm led to believe Shane is a phenomenal Western, one of the great American Westerns. I'm, of course, familiar with the finale of Shane, but know really very little else about it, which is interesting, really, I suppose. With this one, you get, obviously, the high-definition presentation, and the subtitles and that kind of thing, uncompressed mono soundtracks, very similar to the kind of technical stuff you got with Ace in the Hole as well. You get an audio commentary by George Stevens Jr. and associate producer Ivan Moffat, a video interview with film scholar Neil Sinyard, a complete Lux Radio Theatre adaptation of Shane, the original theatrical trailer, a 28-page booklet, featuring writing by Penelope Houston, an unpublished interview with George Stevens, a treatment for an unfilmed prologue to the film, and archival imagery. So there you go, Shane. There's the booklet there. I'm really looking forward to actually watching this. And actually watching a few more American Westerns, a few more Westerns in general, really, I suppose, this year. I feel a little bit like I want to delve into that world this year, or at least to start off the year. I don't know, I get in these mindsets, I get in these kind of grooves, these ways of thinking where I'm just like, yes, I want to leap into that genre now. And I think maybe Westerns is up there for the start of 2023. Next up, we have a movie that I have watched since buying it. This is a snowy Western. I think it's a really unusual movie, actually. This is Andre de Toth's Day of the Outlaw, with Robert Ryan, and who else is in it? Oh, Burl Ives is in this as well, and Tina Louise. It's a very kind of, how do I say it? How can I put this? It's quiet. It's kind of minimalist as a movie. I think it's a beautiful looking movie, obviously, because it's snowy mountains everywhere. It's incredibly, it's a very pretty movie to look at. It's actually a very, very bleak kind of movie. But I think it's a really interesting one. I think it's a wonderful, wonderful movie. What is this? Number 124, actually, in the Masters of Cinema collection. With this one, you get, as well as all the technical stuff, a video appreciation by Bertrand Tavernier, isolated music and effects track, double-sided sleeve featuring alternate artwork, 32-page booklet featuring a new essay by Glenn Kenny, a 1994 interview with Andre de Toth, the film's original press book, and the archival imagery. Given the fact it's reversible sleeve, let's have a look at the other sleeve, actually. Oh no, I remember what I did. I actually changed it to the reversible sleeve because the that was at the actual cover that it had, but this was the reversible one, and I just think that's so much better. I think that's beautiful. But yes, Day of the Outlaw, snowy Western. Really, really very, very interesting movie. A really kind of captivating movie. You are nobody's great in this movie. Let's just say that it's almost noirish. It's almost a rural noir rather than a Western in terms of its morality. I think it's an interesting movie. Day of the Outlaw, 1959. Actually, that one. 92 minutes. Next up, we have John Ford's The Quiet Man with John Wayne and Maureen O'Hara. My John Ford collection is next to non-existent, So rather unfortunately, so this was kind of a big deal for me, I suppose, in terms of that. This is 125 actually. We've had 123, 24, and 25 there. But obviously this is more of a romance drama. John Wayne goes back to Ireland and falls in love with Maureen O'Hara. Again, I'm led to believe it is one of the great romance movies of its era. And John Wayne as a more romantic figure, rather than the kind of loner western grouch that he tends to, or that I tend to think of him as, is very, very interesting to me. I've never seen this movie. I'm very much looking forward to watching this one, like I said as well. 1952, of course, The Quiet Man, 129 minutes. With this one, you get a new and exclusive video essay by John Ford expert and scholar Tag Gallagher. The Making of the Quiet Man documentary, original theatrical trailer, a 52-page booklet, featuring new writing by Sheila O'Malley, a 1953 profile of John Wayne, a 1955 profile of John Ford, an essay on cinematographer Winton C. Hock, the original short story that the film is based on, and archival imagery. Barry Fitzgerald also in this, Ward Bond, Victor McLagan. What a surprise! Ward Bond and Victor McLagan showing up in a John Ford movie. I'm not surprised at all. But The Quiet Man, 1952, there is the inside and the booklet. Yes, a nice extra edition as well. Now something that is definitely more obviously in my wheelhouse, the kind of thing I like. This is a Fritz Lang movie, this is Glenn Ford, this is Gloria Grahame, this is Broderick Crawford, this is Human Desire. In the Masters of Cinema collection from 1954, 90 minutes, it is a noirish drama, kind of nasty little movie that obvious apparently it's anyway. I've never seen this movie. This will be a new Lang movie for me. I really obviously am a very big fan of Fritz Lang, very big fan of his noir movies, well, the ones that I've seen at least. And I'm led to believe this is really quite a typical but particularly dark movie. Which is good for a noir movie, I suppose, isn't it? It's really good. And look you've sold me with Fritz Lang, Glenn Ford, Gloria Grahame, Broderick Crawford. You really have. This is all I need for this. This is number 197 in the Masters of Cinema collection. With this one, we get a new and exclusive interview with Tony Raines, a collector's booklet featuring new writing on the film by Travis Crawford, Richard Coombs, and Adam Batty, and rare archival imagery. Lovely. It's dual. Is it dual format? Might be dual format because there's 2 discs. But there is the nicely sized booklet there, actually. But of course, I was going to get this one. If I was to add to my Masters of Cinema collection, it just speaks to all my tendencies, doesn't it, really? Which is weird to say, but these are the kind of movies I do enjoy. I do enjoy positive, happy movies as well, of course, but very dark, horrible noirs also do engage me. They really do. Next up, we have Robert Aldrich's Hush Hush, Sweet Charlotte, with Betty Davis, Olivia de Havilland, and Joseph Cotton. Basically, again, I've never seen this movie. I'm led to believe it is it's Whatever Happened to Baby Jane, the spiritual sequel to. Basically, I think. Supposedly, because it's Betty Davis playing another kind of older. Yeah. I mean, let's look at it. Robert Aldrich did Baby Jane anyway. But it is another kind of Betty Davis is old and a little bit mad movie by the sounds of it. 1964, this one, 133 minutes. Who else is in this? Agnes Moorehead's in this as well. Cecil Kellaway's in this. Mary Astor is in this movie. Okay. With this Blu-ray, anyway, you get a new feature-length commentary by Kat Ellinger, a commentary with Glenn Erickson. You get a 22-minute making of little featurette thing. You get Bruce Dern remembers. So he's Bruce Dern in this movie in a little role, perhaps. That's 13 minutes. Wizard Work, an archival behind-the-scenes look at the film narrated by Joseph Cotton. That's 5 minutes. An archival stills gallery, trailer and TV spots, and a collector's booklet featuring a new essay by historian and cult cinema expert Lee Gambin. So there's quite a nice lot of features with Hush Hush Sweet Charlotte there. That's nice. There is indeed the booklet and the disc. And this is number 201 in the Masters of Cinema collection. Nasty movies, we like it. Next up we have, oh look, what a surprise, another Fritz Lang noir movie. Yay, it's The Woman in the Window from 1944. It's early noir, very early noir. And yet another addition to my Fritz Lang movie collection. And noir collection, and Fritz Lang noir collection, and they all merge into one thing. But Edward G. Robinson is in this, Joan Bennett, Raymond Massey, Dan Duryea. So, you know, you've got a pretty solid cast there. I'm interested, you know, Edward G. Robinson playing the true lead of a noir, not the kind of supporting role, and not, you know, it not being the early 30s anymore. And of course, noir wasn't really noir until kind of this time, until they say The Maltese Falcon in 1941 was really the prototypical earliest sense of true noir movies. But again, I don't need to know anything about this movie, and I don't know anything about this movie other than it is a Fritz Lang noir movie with Edward G. Robinson as the lead. And this is enough for me to go, yes, please, I want this. This is number 204 in the Masters of Cinema collection. With this one, we get a brand new and exclusive video essay by David Cairns, feature-length audio commentary by Imogen Sarah Smith, who is the author of In Lonely Places, Film-Noir Beyond the City, which sounds like a book I should probably get. You get the original theatrical trailer and a collector's booklet featuring new essays by Amy Simmons and Sam Dayan, alongside rare archival imagery. Like I said, 1944, 99 minutes, Fritz Lang's The Woman in the Window. Yes, we like it. Penultimately, we have what is, with, I think, to go alongside The Gunfighter, Gregory Peck. I forget who directed The Gunfighter now. Was it Henry Hathaway? It might have been Henry Hathaway. Gregory Peck in The Gunfighter. To go alongside that movie, this is my favourite American Western. This is a movie I do love deeply. This is a movie I have seen a couple of times before and did watch again once I got this here. This is High Noon, 1952, which did have a reversible sleeve. The reversible sleeve was, well, this was actually the reversible sleeve. The actual cover was the exact same, but in colour, but I preferred this black and white version because, of course, the movie is in black and white, and it just felt more appropriate to me. But 1952's High Noon is a phenomenal movie. It is the tightest movie you will ever watch in your entire life. It is morally phenomenal. It sticks in your head. The Ballad of High Noon, the music is catchy as all hell, but not only that, just adds so much pressure to the movie. The movie is a pressure movie. It's a boiling pot movie, but it's a movie about one guy who reluctantly has to do something that he feared he would one day have to do, but he never wanted to admit that, and he asks for help, and everybody comes up with excuses because they don't want to help him, and he has to go out on his own. It is a wonderful commentary of a movie. It is arguably my favourite Western of them all. Gary Cooper, Grace Kelly, in High Noon, Lloyd Bridges, of course, Thomas Mitchell, Katie Gerardo, Lee Van Cleef, I think in his first movie, is in this. But it is I can't speak highly enough of High Noon. It's a very, very early episode of It's a Wonderful Podcast, the main show where we talked about High Noon. So maybe my analysis, maybe my thoughts of High Noon has developed since then, but maybe that's worth going back and checking out and listening to. But yes, this is number 208 in the Masters of Cinema collection, Fred Zinnemann's High Noon, 1952, 85 minutes. With this one, we get features that I have watched since getting this as well. It's a 1080p presentation from a 4K restoration as well, so it really does look beautiful. Brand new audio commentary with Glenn Frankel, author of High Noon, The Hollywood Blacklist, and The Making of an American Classic. That also sounds like an interesting book. A brand new audio commentary by Western authority Stephen Prince, a new video interview with Neil Sinyard, author of Fred Zinnemann, Films of Character and Conscience, a 1969 audio interview with writer Carl Foreman from the National Film Theatre in London, Inside High Noon, an in-depth look at the making of the film, The Making of High Noon, a documentary on the film from 1992, Behind High Noon, a behind-the-scenes look at High Noon produced in 2002 for the film's 50th anniversary, and the trailer. A hell of a lot of great features. I have watched quite a lot of those features as well. A wonderful, wonderful title, a wonderful release, a wonderful movie. Eureka Masters of Cinema, number 208, High Noon. I had to have this one. Absolutely. And lastly, we do finish on another noir. This is a Robert Siodmak noir, who we like, don't we like? Robert Siodmak's noir movies. They're very, very good. He's very, very competent at making noir movies. He's an excellent noir director. And I'm led to believe this is really, really one of his best ones. This is number 231 in the Eureka Masters of Cinema collection. It's Burt Lancaster, Yvonne De Carlo, and Dan Duryea. It's Crisscross from 1949. Again, like I said, I don't know really much about this movie. I don't need to know things about movies and their plots and things like this in order to be interested in them. I need to know the vibes. Who's made the movie? Who's in the movie? What's the movie tonally? And then I'm in, no matter what, really. If I'm into all those things, of course. But with this one, with Crisscross, we get, it looks like it's another 4K digital restoration. Again, I haven't watched this one yet, but I'm definitely looking forward to doing so. You get audio commentary by Lee Gambin and actress Rutanya Alda. Have I said that? Rutanya Alda. Audio commentary by Adrian Martin. You get Screen Director's Playhouse radio adaptation from 1949 featuring Burt Lancaster, the isolated music and effects track, theatrical trailer, and a collector's booklet featuring new writing by Kat Ellinger, an essay by Adam Batty, and rare archival imagery. Crisscross, 1949, 88 minutes. Directed by Robert Siodmak. Supposedly another wonderful noir movie. And we can't get enough of noir movies, can we? I certainly can't. I certainly can't. But there we go. That is it for this chunk, this haul, this great adding to my collection of the Eureka Masters of Cinema collection. And I'm very happy to have these movies on the shelf. Now, there's plenty more from Eureka and from the Masters of Cinema that I do want. Of course there is. Of course there is. But that will certainly do me for the time being in this particular world, I think. And I'm very excited to get into those movies that I haven't seen yet. And I hope you've enjoyed this video, this little look into what I've got and this Morgan's movie collection, I guess. So, anyway, subscribe, ding the notification bell on this YouTube channel for all the fun stuff we have on the It's a Wonderful podcast channel. And subscribe to the It's a Wonderful podcast feed on all major podcast platforms for all the for Monday Madness, for Morgan Hasn't Seen, and for It's a Wonderful Podcast, the main show, which I have mentioned a number of times in this video, every Monday, Wednesday and Friday over there. But a whole bunch of fun stuff we have on this YouTube channel as well. If you would like to support us on Patreon or donate in any such way, there are links in the description to that. There is also social media links in the description as well if you want to follow us there. But let me know in the comments what you think about these movies. Are you interested in these movies if you haven't seen them? If you have seen them, like I said, what do you think about them? Do you love them? Do you find something perhaps negative with them? Because those discussions are perfectly valid as well. But do you celebrate them? Is the most important thing, I think. Leave a like, do all that fun stuff, and until next time, I think that's all I have to say. I'll be back pretty soon, because this was not the only bunch of movies I got in my kind of January haul. There's plenty more. So I'll be back very soon with another Morgan's movie collection. But until then, all I have to say is thank you and goodbye.